When women try to leave a p0lice officer's death casts light on the most dangerous moment in domesti. Among experts who work with the victims of domestic abuse, the moment when a woman attempts to get away from her batterer is considered the most perilous, a time when violence often intensifies, sometimes to fatal proportions. It was that situation that Tara O'Sullivan, a newly minted police officer, walked into Wednesday night when she responded to a domestic disturbance call and was helping a woman collect her belongings to leave a home in Sacramento. A man inside the O'Sullivan, 26, died later at UC Davis Medical Center. Julie Bornhoft, Chief Strategy and Sustainability Officer for Sacramento-based Women Escaping a Violent Environment, said she was not surprised by the shooting because when a victim takes steps to leave, it disrupts that power and it escalates the abuse. It is the most dangerous call law enforcement responds to, she said, adding that a firearm in the home increases the likelihood of serious injury or death 500 times. Someone determined at Violence Policy Center, a Washington-based advocacy group that works to stop gun deaths and injuries, reported a total of 184 women killed by men in California in 2016. The report said, O'Sullivan's death is just the latest incident to shine a spotlight on an issue that often remains in the shadows, because victims do not always speak out, and the crimes are underreported, experts say. In one publicized case last year, former San Francisco 49ers linebacker Reuben Foster was arrested on suspicion of domestic violence after an incident in February 2018 at the Los Gatos home he shared with ex-girlfriend, Alyssa Ennis, according to court documents. 2 felony domestic. In November, he was arrested again in Tampa, Florida, after an incident in the team hotel that also involved Ennis. She said Foster. Marissa Seco, an intervention unit manager at the Oakland-based Family Violence Law Center, said Friday that research shows it takes survivors 7 attempts on average to end an abusive relationship. She said it has become. Beatriz Garcia, a 34-year-old woman who lives in Hayward, recounted Friday how difficult it was for her to leave a man who was abusing her after growing up in an abusive home. Garcia said she felt trapped going from one abusive relationship to another, and she did not trust authorities to help her because she had entered the United States from Mexico illegally at age 15. A medical assistant who wants to become a nurse and counselor for domestic violence victims, Garcia said the situation with one man got so bad I'd rather be deported. She said he bragged. The man, she said, would lock me in a room without letting me eat for hours and days. I was at the point she said one night, the man came home seemingly high on drugs. Garcia said but Garcia was able to call 911, she said, and when a neighbor heard her screams and broke down the front door, she was able to run out of the house. Then police arrived. Garcia, who now has a daughter, said she moved to another city to escape the man, but he showed up at her work, a situation experts say happens frequently when abuse victims attempt to hide from their abusers. Garcia said she eventually sought help from Safe Alternatives to Violent Environments of Fremont. Through the group, she said she had not discussed her experience publicly before speaking with this news organization on Friday. I know now that I am not damaged goods and able to help my community, but I am continuing to heal myself, Garcia said. You never know how. Bornhoft said to expect an escalation of abuse whenever a victim tries to take control of her or his life. O'Sullivan's death illustrated the peril not only for victims but for police officers who try to help them. One of the common themes is, why didn't she leave? Bornhoft said, situations such as the one that led to O'Sullivan's being killed, she said, are a reminder of that.
Raindrop, drop top smoking, no cooking the hot pot. Fucking on your bitch, yeah, that. Looking up, open the park, pot.